Have a nice day, children. I hope you are all good and safe. Today, our lesson History Unit 4 People's Revolt. Introduction. The establishment of political and economic dominance by the British over many parts of India after the Battle of Plassey, that's year is 1757, that's disturbed the political and economic order of the country. The English assumed the right of collecting the annual tribute from the Palayakarar. The first resistance to the British was offered by the Pulitevar. Since then, there had been rebellions by Palayakarar, such as the Veerabandiya Kattabomman, Umathurai, Marudu brothers, and Dhiran Chinnamalai. The Vijayanagar rulers appointed Nayaks in their provinces. The Nayak of Madurai in turn appointed Palayakarar. Vishwanatha became the Nayak of Madurai in 1529. He noticed that he could not control the chieftain who wanted more. So with the consultation of his minister Ariyanatha Mudaliyar, Vishwanatha instituted Palayakarar system in 1529. The whole country was divided into 72 palayams and each one was put under a Palayakarar. Palayakarar was the holder of a territory or a palayam. The Palayakarar collected taxes, of which 1/3 was given to the Nayak of Madurai, another 1/3 of their expenditure of the army, and the rest was kept for themselves. So that's the duty. That is, what's the duty of the Palayakarar? Collect tax, govern the palayam, solve the disputes, maintain law and order, provide military service to Nayak when needed. Early revolts of South India. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the Palayakarars played a vital role in the politics of Tamil Nadu. They regarded themselves as independent. Among the Palayakaras, there were two blocks, namely the eastern and the western blocks. The eastern points where the Nayaks ruled under the control of Kattabomman, and the western palayams where the Maravas ruled under the control of Pulitevar. These two Palayakarars refused to pay the kist, that is tribute, to the English and rebelled. The early struggle between the Palayakarars and the East India Company had a strong political dimension. By the Carnatic Treaty of 1792, consolidated the English power over the Palayakars. The English got the right to collect taxes. The result was the outbreak of the revolt of Palayakars. That's the revenue collecting authority to the company ruled. Nawab of Arcot borrowed money from British, then unable to repay the debt, handed over the power of collecting tax to British from the Palayakarars. So Palayakarars refused it. Thus the conflict started between the Palayakarars and British. Pulitevar. Pulitevar was the pioneer in Tamil Nadu to protest against the English rule in India. He was the Palayakarar of the Nerkattum Seval near Tirunelveli. He refused to pay the tribute neither to Muhammad Ali, the Nawab of Arcot, nor to the English. So they attacked Pulitevar, but they were defeated by Pulitevar. Pulitevar was the first Indian king to have fought and defeat the British in India. After this victory, Pulitevar attempted to form a league of the Palayakars to oppose the British and the Nawab. Later, he was defeated by Captain Campbell in 1767. Yes, you look at the picture, you know about him, the Veerabandiya Kattabomman. The ancestors of Kattabomman belong to Andhra. They went to Tamil country during the 11th century. Jagaveera Pandya Kattabomman ruled Veerabandiyapuram. Panchalam Gurushi was its capital. He later became a polyglot during the rule of Nayaks. He was succeeded by his son Veerabandiya Kattabomman. His wife was Jakkammal and his brothers were Umathurai and Savathaiah. Nawab of Arcot. After the decline of the Vijayanagar Empire, the Mughals established their supremacy in the south. The Nawabs acted as their representatives in Karnataka. Panchalakuruchi Palayam was acted as an ally. Ally means unite, to unite. So Panchalakuruchi Palayam was acted as an unite to the Nawab of Arcot. Hence, it paid tribute to the Nawabs. Based on the Carnatic Treaty 1792, the company gained the right to collect taxes from Panchalakuruchi. The collection of tribute was the main cause for the rivalry between the English and Kattabomman. How met Kattabomman and Jackson? In 1798, Colin Jackson, he was the collector of Ramanathapuram. He wrote asking him to pay the tribute arrears, but Kattabomman replied that he was not in a position to remit the tribute due to the famine in the country. Colin Jackson got angry and decided to send an expedition to punish Kattabomman. However, the Madras government did not give the permission. The collector insulted them and tried to arrest Kattabomman and his minister. Kattabomman tried to escape with his minister. Oomathurrai suddenly entered fort with his men and helped the escape of Kattabomman. But unfortunately, Sivasubramaniam was taken as a prisoner. Edward Clive and Kattabomman. Kattabomman wrote a letter to the Madras Council narrating the behavior of collector Colin Jackson. Edward, governor of Madras Council, ordered Kattabomman to surrender. The Madras Council directed Kattabomman to appear before a committee. Meanwhile, Edward Clive dismissed the collector for his misbehavior and released Sivasubramaniam. Kattabomman appeared before the committee and found Kattabomman was not guilty. S.R. Lusington was appointed collector in the place of Colin Jackson. The Confederacy of Palayakkarars. Marudhupandiyan of Sivaganga formed the Indian Confederacy of rebels against the British along with the neighboring Palayakkarars. This confederacy declared a proclamation which came to be known as Tiruchirappalli Proclamation. Kattabomman was interested in this confederacy, that is join. Kattabomman was also interested to join, but the collector S.R. Lusington prevented him. Finally, Marudhu brothers and Kattabomman decided to fight against the British. Veerapandiyan Kattabomman tried to influence the Palayakkarar of Sivagiri, but Sivagiri Palayakkarar refused as he was a supporter of the British. British, on knowing this, considered it as a challenge to defeat them. The British army marched towards Panchalakuruchi. Then fall of Panchalakuruchi. Major Bannerman commanded the troop. On 1st September, ultimatum was sent to Kattabomman to surrender, but Kattabomman refused. Then on 5th September, entire force reached Panchalakuruchi. Kattabomman escaped to Pudukottai. British put a price for his head. Finally, Kattabomman was hanged from a tamarind tree in the old fort of Kayathar. Thus ended the life of a celebrated Palayakkarar of Panchalakuruchi. Kattabomman's heroic deeds are the subject of many folk ballads which kept his memory alive among the people. Now we will see about Velu Nachiyar. Velu Nachiyar was a queen of Sivaganga. At the age of 16, she was married to Muthuvaduganadhar, the Raja of Sivagangai. In 1772, the Nawab of Arcot and the British troops invaded Sivagangai. They killed Muthuvaduganadhar in Kalayar Koil battle. Velu Nachiyar escaped with her daughter Vellachi Nachiyar and lived under the protection of Gopala Nayakar. During this period, she organized an army and employed her intelligent agents to find where the British stood. She recaptured Sivagangai and was again crowned as queen with the help of Marudhu brothers. She was the first queen to fight against the British. She is known by Tamils as Veeramangai and all of South India. Marudu brothers. The elder brother was called Periya Marudu and the younger brother Chinna Marudu. Chinna Marudu was more popular and was called Marudubandiyan. Chinna Marudu served under Muthuvaduganatha Periya Udaya Devar of Sivaganga. Already I said no, Muthuvaduganatha, husband of Velu Nachiyar. He is there. In 1772, the Nawab of Arcot laid siege of Sivaganga and captured it. Muthuvaduganatha Periya Udayadevar died in battle. However, after a few months, Sivaganga was recaptured by Marudu brothers and Periya Marudu was enthroned as the ruler. Chinna Marudu acted as advisor. Due to the terrorist activities against British, he was called as Lion of Sivaganga. Kattabomman was hanged to death and his brother Umathurai and the other fled to Sivaganga. Marudubandiya gave protection to them. The merchants of Sivaganga did not like interference of the company in their internal politics. The company waged war these two causes. Next one we will see about the South Indian Rebellion. In February 1801, the brothers of Kattabomman, Umathurai and Sivathaiya escaped from Palayam Kottai prison and reached Kumudi. Chinna Marudu took them to Siruvayal, his capital. They reached ancestral fort at Panchalam Kuruchi. The British troops under Colonel Macaulay retook the fort. Proclamation 1801. The Marudu Pandyas issued a proclamation of independence called Tiruchirappalli Proclamation in June 1801. Already I said in Confederacy of Palakkad. So that's it. The proclamation of 1801 was the first call to the Indians to unite against the British. A copy of the proclamation was pasted on the walls of the Nawab palace in the forts of Trichy and another one copy was placed on the walls of the Vaishnava temple at Srirangam. Marudu brothers spread the spirit of opposition against the English everywhere. As a result, many Palayakkarars of Tamil Nadu went on a rally to fight against the English. Chinna Marudu collected nearly 20,000 men to challenge the English army. Divide and rule policy followed by the English split the forces of the Palayakkarars. How English to Sivagangai? English attacked the rebels in Tanjavur and Tiruchi areas. The rebels went to Piranmalai and Kalayar Koil. They were again defeated by the forces of the English. In the end, the superior strength and the able commanders of the British army, the rebellion failed and English annexed Sivagangai on 1801. Umathurai and Sivathaiya was captured and beheaded at Panchalam Kuruchi on 16th November 1801. The Carnatic Treaty was made on 31st July 1801. British took direct control over Tamilagam and the Palakkad to end. All the forts and army were demolished. Dheeran Chinnamalai. Dheeran Chinnamalai original name was Tirthagiri. Dheeran Chinnamalai was trained by French military in modern warfare. He was along the side Tippu Sultan to fight against the British East India Company and got victories against the British. In guerrilla warfare, during the final battle, Chinnamalai was betrayed by his cook Nallappan and was hanged in Sangagiri Fort in 1805. Velur Fort revolt. The family members of Tippu were imprisoned at Velur Fort after the 4th Mysore War. The Velur Fort consists of Indian troops. A good part of it recently been raised in Tirunelveli after the Palakkara uprising of 1800. Many of the trained soldiers of the various Palayams were admitted into the English army. Thus, the Velur Fort became the meeting ground of the rebel forces of South India. In 1803, William Cavendish Bentinck became governor of Madras. During his period, certain military regulations were introduced. That is, no caste mark or earrings, should be cleanly shaved. Uniformity in mustache treated Indian sepoys as inferior. Immediate cause, in June 1806, Military General Agnew introduced a new turban resembling a European hat with the badge of cross on it. It was popularly known as Agnew's turban. Both the Hindu and Muslim soldiers opposed it, so the soldiers were severely punished by the English. Cause of the revolt. The Indian soldiers were waiting for an opportunity to attack the English officers. Tipu's family also took part. Fateh Haidar, the elder son of Tipu, formed an alliance against the English. On July 10th in the early morning, the sepoys of the 1st and 23rd regiments started. Meantime, the rebels proclaimed Fateh Haidar as their new ruler. The British flag in the fort was brought down. The tiger striped flag of Tipu Sultan was hoisted on the fort of Vellore. Effects of the Vellore revolt. The new methods of uniform regulations were withdrawn. The family of Tipu, as a precautionary measure, was sent to Calcutta. William Cavendish Bentinck was removed from his service. Then causes for the failure of the revolt. There was no proper leadership to guide the soldiers properly. The rebellion was also not well organized. Divide and rule policy of the English split the unity of the Indians. That is the causes for the failure of the revolt. Okay, we will see about now the revolt of 1857. Causes of the revolt. The most important cause of revolt 1857 was a popular disconnect of the British policy of economically exploiting India. This hurt all sections of society. Peasants suffered due to high revenue demands and the strict revenue collection policy. Then policies of doctrine of lapse, subsidiary alliance, and policy of effective. The conversion activities of Christian missionaries were looked upon with suspicion. Abolition of practices like sati, female infanticide, support to widow remarriage, and female education were seen by many as interference in their Indian culture by the Europeans. The Indian sepoys were looked upon as inferior beings and treated with contempt by their British officers. What's the immediate cause? The immediate cause of the introduction of new Enfield rifles in the army. The top of the cartridge of this rifle was to be removed by the mouth before loading it in the rifle. The cartridges were greased by the fat of pig and the cow. The Indian sepoys believed British were attempting to spoil the religion of the Hindus and the Muslims, because while the Hindus revered the cow and Muslim hated the pig. Thus the primary and the immediate cause of the revolt was the use of greased cartridges. Okay, then we will see about the outbreak of the revolt. 29 March 1857 at Barakpur near Kolkata, a young sepoy from Bengal regiment refused to use the greased cartridge and shot down his sergeant. He was arrested, tried and executed. When this news spread, many sepoys revolted. Cause of the revolt. On 10th May 1815, the sepoys of the 3rd Cavalry at Meerut openly revolted by swarming the prisons and releasing their comrades. The arrival of Meerut sepoys at Delhi on 11th May and declared of Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India, Delhi became the center of the Great Revolt. The revolt spread quickly. There were mutinies at Lucknow, Kanpur, Jhansi, Bareilly, Faizabad. Faizabad, and many other places in North India. Many others whose titles and persons were abolished by the British who participated in it in order to take revenge. The Muslim leaders sought the help of establishing the Muslim rule in India. We will see about Rani Bai of Jhansi. In central India, the revolt was guided by Rani Bai of Jhansi. She was one of the greatest patriots of India. She fled from Jhansi and joined hands with Tandya Tobe, who had assumed the leadership of the rebel army at Gwalior. But the British captured Gwalior in June 1938. Rani was killed in the battle. Tandya Tope fled away but was captured and executed. According to the British historians present at the time of revolt, Rani Lakshmi Bai was the best and the bravest among the leaders of the revolt of 1857. How suppressed of the revolt? Lord Canning, the Governor General, took immediate steps to suppress the revolt. British regained their lost positions very soon. Delhi was recaptured by General John Nicholson. Nana Sahib was defeated at Kanpur. Tandya Tope was captured and put to death. Rani of Jhansi had died in the battlefield. Kanwar Singh, Khan Bahadur Khan were all dead. By the end of 1859, British authority over India was re-established. Then causes for the failure of the revolt. Various causes were responsible for the failure of the revolt. What is that? Lack of organization, discipline, common plan of action, centralized leadership, modern weapons and techniques. Then rebel leaders were known to the British generals. Rani Lakshmi Bai, Tandya Tobe and Nana Sahib were courageous, but they were not good generals. Non-participation of Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Western Punjab and Rajputana. The modern educated Indians also did not support the revolts, as they believed that only British rule could reform Indian society and modernize it. The British management to get the loyal Afghans and the Gurkha regiments. The Gurkhas actually helped the British in suppressing the revolt. The British had better weapons, better generals and a good organization. What's the consequences of revolt? The revolt of 1857 marked a turning point in the history of India. It led to change in the system of administration and the policy of the government. The administration of India was transferred from the East India Company to the British Crown through the Queen's Proclamation in 1857. The Governor General was given the title of Viceroy. Then the Indian Army was thoroughly reorganized. The British military policy came to be dominated by the idea of divide and counterpoise. First War of Independence. What is that? In fact, the revolt of 1857 played an important role in bringing the Indian people together and imparting them the consciousness of belonging to one country. The revolt paved the way for the rise of the modern national movement. It was the beginning of the 20th century that the 1857 revolt came to be interpreted as a planned war of national independence by V.D. Savarkar in his book that is called First War of Indian Independence. Look at the picture. Look at the map, children. This is a book back map. In the center, Delhi above Meerut, Delhi below Gwalior, Gwalior below Jhansi, then Gwalior opposite Kanpur, Kanpur above Lucknow, Barakpur. You do proper and you write, do in the map. Then other places also have, you learn in the book. That is Kalpi, Faizabad, Jagdishpur, so Banaras, that's also you learn it. Okay, you learn properly. Thank you, ma. Take care.